Hello everybody, it's Tommy and welcome back to another speed build for the Disney Save. Today we have the first community lot that we are doing for Moonwood Mill. This is going to be based after the holiday trees that Jack finds in Nightmare Before Christmas. I've always really wanted to do some variation of this build in the Disney Save. When I originally had planned Nightmare Before Christmas to be in Forgotten Hollow, I was going to basically tool this entire lot somewhere in Forgotten Hollow, whether it was the town center or there was like this little alcove off to the side somewhere in the world. And I remember there was like this center circle of trees, and I kept thinking I will take and do the painstaking process of tooling all of these items that I want off lot and putting them kind of in that world as set dressing and decoration. And it was just something I was very stuck on. I always kind of wanted it. And since we have decided that Moonwood Mill is now going to be the Nightmare Before Christmas world, I knew I really wanted to include this lot. It is a generic lot, meaning that it doesn't have any requirements. The only reason I wouldn't do like a park in this instance or a national park is because it has a few lot requirements for things that I just didn't really want to hide. Things like a bathroom, a grill. I didn't really want those things around, and I didn't want to do the trick where I will build like an underground tunnel and then you kind of put everything down there, or you build a basement and you hide everything downstairs. I figured we haven't done a generic lot since Willow Creek. I did a playground way back in Willow Creek, and that one is technically marked as a generic lot because, again, there were certain items that I didn't want to include on the lot. I think one of them is a bathroom, really. When you get these like super small lots that there's no room to like organically place a bathroom down. And realistically, your sim is not going to spend a ton of time here anyway. This is more like a set dressing, storytelling thing. Maybe you could come have a picnic here. Maybe it's something fun for people to discover in the world when you're first like exploring the Disney Save. So it doesn't need a whole bunch of stuff. It definitely doesn't need a bathroom. I don't think your sim will be here very long. This is like for storytelling purposes. And I decided I was going to really go for it with these holiday trees. In the film, there are 7 trees that Jack stumbles across, and they are a circle of plain trees. The trunks are a little bit thicker, and each of them contains like a themed door that's built into the tree. A lot of them were shaped after the given holiday that they represent. Some of them you don't even really barely see, and the only reason we know that they exist is either from models from the film that are shown later, or I've seen like ornaments made of this little place. So I was actually a little bit surprised to learn that there is 7 of them and some of the holidays that they chose, but we'll talk about that a little bit later. They're basically just these like very plain looking trees with doors in them that you can walk through. And then there is like a spiral pattern on the ground trying to make it look like this, I don't know, weird dimensional area of Halloween Town. I always imagined that every holiday town has its own location of these holiday trees. That's how they can kind of go between them. They don't obviously use them for various reasons, or maybe they used to. There's like a lore thing that goes alongside of it. Regardless, the lot was always a little plain for me, and when I imagined doing it, I wanted more decor, some decorations, some gifts, some lights around the immediate area of every single tree to really represent what it truly is, especially also because I don't have anything similar to the doors that sit into the trees. I knew that I was always going to be making some kind of like door sitting against a tree basically, or kind of like push it halfway in. So it makes for a really interesting, a little bit random build, but it's something I always pictured in the save file from very early on planning, and it gives me an opportunity to use all of these seasons items and decor that they give you for all of the different holidays that I otherwise probably will not be able to make too much use of, because I talked about in a previous video how I am hesitant usually to include any type of holiday decor when I do a house, because it always feels like in that story the characters will move outside of when that holiday is supposed to be, or maybe when you're actually playing the save file it's not that time of year for that given holiday, so it doesn't really make sense to have the decorations. And that basically means that all these like Valentine's, Easter, St. Patrick's Day decorations probably was not going to be able to use very many of them except for now. And I really love how each of these trees turned out. I tried to hide lights in the trees to kind of make them glow at night in the respective colors of the given holiday. The first one one was Christmas. Of course, that's one that Jack actually uses in the film, and that is super easy. Not only do we have seasons to go ahead and decorate that with, but we have had various base game holiday like gift packs that have been given to us with some other holiday items, and put a ton of that around actual Christmas trees, things like that. Really, really easy to do. Valentine's Day was also super easy. We have a lot of stuff in the catalog that is heart-shaped. I thought that door that has, I don't know what that is, it's like a creature holding a heart, was super cool to be able to use. I tried to obviously pick a door that corresponded really well with each of the holidays. Given that I can't do like a shaped door, I can at least still pick something that feels very thematic to whatever given holiday it is. The point was obviously that you would look at each one of them and it wouldn't even be a question about what holiday it's supposed to be. Outside of hearts for Valentine's Day again is about gift giving in a sense, so there's gifts that I was able to put down for that. And then we have some cards, some love cards, lots of flowers, and those pink trees. Seasons also comes with a dedicated rug that each swatch of it is a different holiday, so that was super easy to go ahead and put around in front of every single door, except they didn't really have one that was dedicated specifically for St. Patrick's Day. I would say that most of the stuff in the seasons pack isn't really dedicated towards that holiday at all. There's like some green and gold stuff, but I think it's for other holidays, and I think it's trying to be a little bit more like nondescript. So I ended up finding one specifically for the St. Patrick's Day door that is a little bit different, and I had to find a lot of random decor, like typing gold into the catalog to try to find any gold pieces that we have, using a cauldron and putting like the gold hay into it to make it look like a thing of gold coins, the little rainbow. I actually really, really love that door. I could have put some drinks there actually too. I should have thought of that one. Maybe I'll go back and add them. And then we have the Easter door. Again, I got really lucky because we do have a door that has a bunch of bunnies already on it, and I knew that we had a bunch of bunnies in the catalog from just various packs. There's some base game bunny statues, but we also have bunnies added to the game from Henford on Bagley, so I knew I was going to be able to find some objects. It's also kind of like the spring door. Like I felt like I could use a lot of the spring decorations from seasons. We have eggs from the debug catalog from the chickens, and the wedding pack has the, I think you can do a flower girl or a flower boy for your wedding, and they'll carry like a little basket down the aisle, so you can find that in debug, and I was able to use that as well and put a bunch of little eggs into it. Really fun. I don't know how those eggs are going to go in live mode. I'm gonna have to take a look at it. I'm always a little bit wary when I do stuff like that. Sometimes when you use food or anything that's like food related in everyday decor, eventually it'll just go bad and smell, and then you would show up here and it would be like kind of gross and like rotten eggs. But I don't know how those items actually function in game, so we'll see. I might have to think about that a little bit, or see if we have some other ones in the catalog. I think there are other eggs that are more like ceramic if I look. Now the next door, I just want to go ahead and start talking about it because I feel like it is one of the more contentious points of not the video, but like I just was surprised. So the next door I think is supposed to be a 4th of July door. Now, my confusion is I don't really like when I'm thinking about Nightmare Before Christmas and I think about all of the holidays, I guess in some senses you do have to consider that a lot of the holidays that they're referencing are from like an American perspective. So maybe it makes sense that they would pick 4th of July as like a big holiday. I don't really consider it to be like a super big important holiday. It's just something that's kind of, in my opinion, an excuse to party, hang out with friends, get together for a cookout. It's more of like a summer day, a summer fun day. And obviously I have people that watch my videos that are from all over the world that are not going to be able to relate really well to like a 4th of July door. And honestly, I wasn't really too keen to include that as an idea. So instead of just completely getting rid of it, which was my initial thought, like I'll just remove this door and we'll have 6 trees, I decided we're going to keep it, but we will make it something a little bit more generic. So I decided this is like your Independence Day / 4th of July / New Year's Day camping summer holiday door. Whatever you have in your region of the world that fits best into that category, you can have that be this door for you. And if you don't really have anything like that, obviously that's a little bit different. Remove it if you really, really want to. I just tried to make it generic. At first I was going for like camping, and I was thinking about like sitting by the fire, roasting marshmallows, like things that are really fun to do in the summer, and it's more of like the summer door. And then I was also like, well, I guess it could have been, or what maybe I think what they should have done instead of a 4th of July door is a New Year's Eve door. Pretty much everybody celebrates the initiation of the new year in some form, whether it obviously looks different depending on where you are in the world, like the traditions and the cultures that partake in different various things for that holiday, but pretty much everybody celebrates it in some aspects. So I felt like that would have been better to go with. So again, I just went with more of like a combination of a lot of the things. I did want to do like some florals and things in there. There's lights, there's stars, it's camping, it's summer, you get the vibe. Then we have the Halloween door, of course. Lots of pumpkins, had to completely overdo it with this door. I initially, like, I put so many pumpkins down, and then I was looking at it like, okay, I need to tone it back a little bit. There's other things that we have that I can use here. We have the seasons pack, and again, we have their own dedicated pack with the spooky stuff, so there was lots and lots of stuff to choose from for this door. I was finding these really cool seasons stickers, again, an item that I probably will never get another chance to use, and so when we had these doors that they're themed towards whatever holiday, but maybe they don't have anything directly on the door to really nail it home what this is supposed to be, I was able to glitch that given sticker onto the door. And I say glitch only because you have to like very, very carefully place it just slightly away from the door so that it actually shows up. I had to go back and forth and fix it quite a few times to get them to actually sit correctly. There's honestly so much more that I could have done here, but I decided to keep it very even with the rest of the doors and just go with some things surrounding the immediate area and not go too much more, because we had too many items for that one. That one was not a challenge at all. And then lastly, again, same issue with the 4th of July door. I believe the 7th door is supposed to be Thanksgiving, and I'm really, really not a fan of including like the so American. It's just too specific, and I feel like there's just so many people that are going to want to use it that have no relation whatsoever to Thanksgiving. So I tried to lean more into fall instead of like how I did more summer with the other door, more fall for this one. So lots of leaves, lots of fall colors, some things that just feel like, you know, obviously I'm leaning a little bit more towards Thanksgiving with some of the colors and some of the options for decor, but not as heavy as I feel like I could have gone. And I specifically like avoided certain items so that it could be a little bit more generic for everybody to be able to use. And also I figured if I'm keeping the 4th of July door, I'm not going to get rid of the Thanksgiving door. If I was going to do anything, I would have gotten rid of both of them, and then we would only have 5 doors, and it's just not really enough. I really liked to keep it correct per the movie, do all 7 of the trees. If anybody doesn't like a certain tree, please, please, please just delete it. I totally get it if you don't want like something that doesn't relate to you in your game and you don't feel like it's going to be useful to you. Totally get it, remove it, but I figured I would give the option to have it here for those of you that might want it. Really, the last part was just doing the giant spiral in the middle. There is like this weird textured grass, or maybe it's supposed to be dead grass and like the ground kind of spirals. It's one of those things. It's like an artistic point of the film that you don't really notice until you're trying to rebuild this particular location, but you do when you are like going through the film. And I was like, oh, of course we have to have that. It makes this even weirder and out of place. So I wanted to do like a little spiral that starts in the center, starts to work its way out, and doesn't go completely to the edges of the lot, so it doesn't feel very boxed in. It stops at the tree line. The next build for Moonwood Mill, well, actually what we're going to be doing next is I'm going to break up the next video with a townie video. There's going to be some townies in the next one that these are required per the world. This is one thing that The Sims has been doing that, as much as like I kind of like it, it also is a really big problem for me when creating my save file. They have been recently including more lore related things, and people love it, but it's really, really at my detriment, especially when these like lore characters can't easily be replaced. I'm literally going to have to go into my save file, find the given characters that are used for the storylines and for the lore, and redo them cosmetically and then just leave them alone is like basically what we're going to do. So they have to be townies. They're going to be some Nightmare Before Christmas characters, townsfolk from the Halloween town. And we have a few of them to do. There are 2 werewolf packs that all have to be filled so that the world can function correctly. So I'm going to do one of the werewolf packs in the next video. That'll be a create a sim, and then we will move on to another community lot for this world. A really bigger lot and an exciting one that I think a lot of you are really going to enjoy. That would be the 4th lot for the world. We are literally almost done. I've got some more characters, and we are doing more than Nightmare Before Christmas in this world. They're just mostly going to be townies, so those will come up as well. I'm going to try to break it up in between builds and do some of those characters. That is going to be the end of today's video. I hope you guys enjoyed. Let me know what you thought of it in the comment section down below, and if you would like to support the Disney Save on Patreon, you can do so by clicking the link in my description box down below or the one at the end of the video. Thank you guys so much for watching today, and I will talk to you all in the next one.